Yo, nephew, hand me that Barstool. You know what it is, and for what it's worth. You can catch me on the best corner 21st. Prime time, shine time, always in the game, never ever on the sideline. You know what it is, and for what it's worth. You can catch me on the best corner 21st. Prime time, shine time, always in the game, never ever.
Welcome to the 21st in Prime. Jamie Dukes, Rone. I have no voice, but it has nothing to do with me yelling because I hadn't been yelling. I'm on so many and so much medication that something has taken my voice, but it's a trick of the enemy. Sponsored by Heineken 00. Maybe this Heineken 00 could bring my voice back. Zero
you got something to bring your voice back, Coach.
only
That's all right.
calories. Something need to bring my voice.
I sent you the stuff to get your voice back, but that's all right. You ain't got to do it. The FDA
No, I
gonna
don't
take
know
it.
how to do it. Trainers have to do it for
No,
me.
the doctor has to do it.
I just got a doctor
He
laying
got
around.
the stuff. Call Doc.
I don't have a doctor just laying around.
Dr. Hunt has the stuff. Your team doctor has what you
Okay.
need. He has what you
What
need.
you need to do, you have to tell our team trainer to tell Dr. Hurt, not Hunt.
Dr. Hurt. I'm sorry, Dr. Hurt. Hey, sorry, Dr. Hurt. I talked to Dr. Hurt. I guess he's been busy. He's been busy.
Well, he was busy shooting up my ankle down before the
You should
game.
have him put it in. Just trust one time. Anyway, so Victory Monday, Coach. Victory Monday. Talk to me.
Tell you what, homecomings at HBCUs, Rone.
It was packed.
You have to see and experience. First of all, on campus, it's unbelievable. Like campus is packed. Like we got this whole corridor. I forgot what they call it down campus. This whole long row. It's probably about half a mile long, and it's packed. People are selling shirts, food, all type of apparel and goods. And it's unbelievable. It's dancing, slide dancing, and it's you can't take a step. And I just wanted to see it, and they wrote me through on the golf cart so I could just experience a little bit of it early Friday. But when I tell you, my son was out there selling.
Did you cry?
No, definitely ain't crying. It ain't affect me that way.
Well, no, but there's some things that
It was unbelievable. True. But this was unbelievable. And to go to the game and see the kids do the Tiger Walk when they got off the bus in their suit and their attire and walk in the fanfare that they received to the stadium, it was unbelievable.
Oh, you mean those? You talking about the Michael Strahan?
Yeah.
Everybody has been talking. Give it a couple minutes.
They got off the bus so clean they was dirty, and it was unbelievable. But let me tell you something. HBCU's homecomings are undarn believable. I just wish we had the consistency of this not just be the homecoming. Like this is really how it is.
Every week.
That's what I mean. We get 55,000. Guys, we can't just do this for homecoming. And I don't know if you saw the tweet out or the post, but I don't know what to say. Attended Alabama versus Mississippi State.
That's pretty good.
On Saturday.
That's pretty good. It was packed in there. I saw the picture from the top of the stadium, and it's as packed as any Power 5 conference that you're going to go to. It was insane. It looked crazy. And not only did I see that, I was watching Sports Center that night. I saw a play on the top 10. I mean, usually there's not HBCUs cracking the top 10 there, but Shador had a pass that it was pretty special.
It was special. And I wish that the consistency of putting HBCUs on the plays and to have the certain games, because let me tell you, I'm thankful for our fans. I'm thankful for the HBCU community because not only are they supporting us, but they're supporting other HBCUs. And now, Jamie, we had 345 requests for recruits to attend the game. We could only honor 200. We had 200 kids on the sideline before the game that attended, but we had 345 requests.
So, Coach, again. So, see, Rone, okay. See, he's a humble guy, but I know him. I think I know him as good as anybody on earth. That's what I'm gonna say. This had, so when you heard, so now let's put some sound bites together. Shut up, coach. So when you start talking about transformative, you see what I'm saying? This is what's talked about. Because the same thing happening here is happening at Tennessee State. It's about an energy that needs to happen in this moment post-COVID. If it wasn't post-COVID, it's and so these are the kind of things. So a lot of people talk about coach with words being words and he's positive being positive, but there's meaning and there's intention and there's action that have to be taken for the words. And so that's why I bring that to the attention, because this is not about Prime, Coach Prime.
True.
This is about somebody by the way, we got this Colin Powell passed away today. Colin Powell, the great Colin Powell, just from complications from COVID. Today. Moments ago, the great Colin Powell passed away.
Of what?
Complications from COVID.
Are we sure?
I'm positive it's on
complications from COVID or complications?
Complications
if you get a dog bite, they put it on COVID.
No, he's 84, which he looks like he's 24, but he was 84, and then he had COVID, and that's what USA Today look at it, and there were complications from that, So he was one of the guys that's on my bucket list, and so, Coach, is there anybody that's left on your bucket list that you haven't met?
Well, a lot of people on my bucket list are gone. Like
I understand that. Yes.
Richard Pryor. Those guys on my bucket list. I don't think I have anybody. I met Denzel. I don't think I have anybody on my bucket list that I want to meet that I hadn't met.
Rone, I'm gonna ask you this question too. Who's on your top 5 bucket list? But Coach, do you remember actually the first time you met Denzel?
Yes.
When?
In LA. I
know. Remember we went to the fight? That fight we went to, the Fan Man fight?
I don't remember that.
In Vegas. The first fight you went to in Vegas.
Okay.
You remember it was a fight. It was the Holyfield fight.
Yeah. I don't remember meeting Denzel at that fight.
No. That's the thing about it. He wasn't Denzel then. He was Denzel Washington.
Oh, right.
During that time, he was sitting in front, so right in front of us. So
he had to be Denzel if he was sitting in front of us. He was Denzel then. If he's sitting in front of us.
No. Well, I say it like this: we were a little further. We weren't ringside.
No, I'm not going. I'm too cheap to be ringside.
Well, you didn't pay for these tickets either. Caesar's Palace, they took care of all that for you.
Yeah. They thought I was gonna gamble, but then they got mad that I did.
They wanted to make some money off you. You were trying to enjoy your day.
Exactly. I don't have Ron. Who do you have on the bucket list that you want to meet?
I mean, it's tough to say the bucket list. And first off, on Colin Powell, I mean, that's a very sad death. I'm not even a big reader, but I read his book, My American Journey, and it's a crazy book. It's a crazy story that he had. He was a great leader, a great African American leader. But I'll definitely get to the bucket list. But first, I want to talk about the sweepstakes that we have. We have to touch on these the Truth-Tober sweepstakes that we have.
Yes, my fault.
No, the Heineken sweepstakes. No, not a problem at all, my friend. It's the Heineken. We're all celebrating Sober October in different ways. Some of us are trying to get lean. Some of us are trying to, just get the better lifestyle going. And you can also participate in the Sober October Coach Prime sweepstakes. All that we're asking is that you post a picture of yourself and a hashtag Sober Truth-Tober, and you let us know why you're sober this year. And you can win a 21st and Prime merch package, and all you have to do is tag Coach Prime, tag Heineken 0.0, and just enjoy your fall. There's a million ways that you can enjoy your fall, and whether that means that you're hanging out with the friends, or if you're going out for that bucket list, being able to hang out with somebody off the bucket list. I mean, my bucket list, honestly, it's like Drake would have been up there for me. Drake is definitely somebody who's like an entertainer to me. But
you met him though. You met Drake.
That is true. That's true.
So he can't be on the bucket list if you met him. That's what the whole concept of bucket list is.
some people
people you have not met that you want to meet before you kick the bucket. So
that's a good question.
I know you got to.
So
LeBron,
what about Adam Sandler, Ron? Adam Sandler got to be a big guy to you, man.
dude, Adam Sandler, Will Ferrell, those are dudes who were just hilarious to me growing up. Those kind of guys would crush it. I mean, those would be incredible for the bucket list. I was thinking athletes, but those are great.
Will Ferrell, if Will Ferrell was a baseball player, he'd be batting 375 with the movies. Okay. I mean,
in a good way, right? You're saying in a good way.
No, in a bad way. Like
what?
Is Billy D still living?
Billy D?
Williams? Yes, I think so. Billy D. Williams is.
Billy D.
I think so.
Would be on the bucket list.
Tell he don't know who Billy D is, Coach.
Yeah, break it down. I'm looking at
Billy D. Williams was a man that everybody mama wanted. That's how cold Billy D. was. Your mama wanted to be. If she was an African American woman, she had love for Billy D. Williams.
Every woman.
He was America's leading black man.
Oh, okay. He was in Batman. I'm seeing
he was Star Wars.
He's Lando Calrissian.
No, that ain't
he's
Billy
Lando
D.
Calrissian.
That's Mr. Williams. I'm talking about Billy D. That's a different Billy D. Yeah, Billy D.
Lady Sings the Blues. What was Lady Sings the Blues?
Lady Sings the Blues.
That's the Billie Holiday story.
Now, that was Billy D.
That's the Billie Holiday story.
A Mahogany. Like that's when Billy D was Billy D.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I don't know anything about
Bingo Long and the Traveling All Stars.
Billy D was back in earlier. He was Errol Flynn. He was Rock Hudson. He was
Denzel.
He was Denzel, but Denzel wasn't known for being just so beautiful. That Billy D is known like as the most beautiful black man ever. Is like you say who was that? You say Billy D. Williams.
Really?
You say who's my most handsome man? Denzel's in the handsome category. Billy D was beautiful. And he was smooth. I mean, he was just smooth.
Yeah, Billy D was that dude.
I remember him from the movie Undercover Brother, but that was like he was a very small role in that movie.
That wasn't Billy D. That was Mr. Williams.
That was Mr. Williams. Okay, yeah, it was I didn't realize that it went back that deep. Brian's Song. Did he play Gale Sayers in Brian's Song?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
That's with Billy D.
James Caan. Yes.
Yeah, Billy D was on the chain, man.
Yeah, Billy D. That's a strong one. Yeah, like he's one of those ones. Like I think that even like Leonardo DiCaprio to me doesn't even seem like a real person. You know what I mean? He's just an actor on the screen. Like I wouldn't even know what to do if I saw him. You know what I mean? It's just like
you know what? It's some people like alluding to what you're saying, Ron. It's certain people that if you see them, you wouldn't think they're real. Like Michael Jackson was that person. Like if you saw Michael Jackson in the mall, you're like, who is that dude impersonating Michael Jackson? You know that ain't Michael Jackson. Like that when you get that large that you don't believe it's them, that's when you know you've reached the pinnacle.
Right. You see him and you start looking around. Like, is everyone seeing what I'm seeing? Like
Michael Jackson was that dude.
You saw him at the mall like that or what?
No. I wish I would have saw. I've never met Michael Jackson. I wanted to meet Michael Jackson. I never met him.
Yeah, he's like a larger than life figure.
Before we jump to the NFL real quick, before we get up out of here, talk about this kid, Santi Marshall.
Santi just left my office. As a matter of fact, he just thanked me for what transpired yesterday. Last season, the spring, Santi, we only have a certain amount of players you can have on your squad. So we was up to the limit in players and up to the limit in walk-ons. So they told Santi he couldn't walk on. So he said, well, what can I do? Just be close. And they made him a cameraman. So he was holding the cameras. And that was his role. A couple guys go down, a couple guys quit. So now there's room. So now the cameraman becomes one of the scout team players. And the first thing I noticed of this kid, I say, who's this kid that don't have on the proper knee pads and all that because I like all pads. I don't play like that. So that really sounds like a motorcycle, but or somebody's stomach growling on a motorcycle. I don't know which one. I would rather the motorcycle. Okay.
I'm outside, man. It just
Anyway, Santi fixed his knee pads, all that, and he was going full speed on every play on the scout team. So I always sit between so I can watch this team, that team, offense, defense, and just to keep my hands on everything. This guy was hitting full speed. So the next week I said, coaches, bring him to the other side, give him some reps with the regular offense. Got some reps. The game didn't play out the way we wanted to play out. Never got in, never got nothing. So I was like, okay, make sure this guy next week gets some touches in the game. And this is the way I want him to touch the ball. In the space, doing this, give him a screen, give him something. I want him to touch the ball. Wouldn't you know it, the second play of the game, first play of the game, starting running back goes down. Santi's in against Alabama A&M. Goes for 130 that game. This is the cameraman, scout team man. Now backup running, backup running back. Now second team running back went for 130. So I called him, I named him 38 special because they just gave him a number and it was 38. And I was going down the sideline saying, that 38 special gonna shoot. That 38 special gonna shoot. Y'all just watch what I tell you. Give him the ball, and he went for 130. And the rest is history. Every week, full speed, everything, and he just goes about his business, never complains, always, every carry, full speed to the end zone, trying to block. He's only 140, 150 pounds, blocking the biggest guys pass rusher, trying his best to get in their way, and he's just a great kid. So
this is a movie. This is the modern day Rudy. Like what? This is
so he's
legitimately
running the heck out of the ball Saturday. And I told our assistant, I said, somebody go get his mother and have her meet me outside our locker room before we go in at the end of the game. Because I know we're going to win, It's like third quarter. So I said, Mama, this is what I need from you. I didn't tell her what I was doing. I said, Mama, I'm going to be talking to our team. I want you to interrupt me and tell me, Coach Prime, you ain't taking care of my baby. I thought you was going to take care of my baby. And she did it to a T. And he looked at like, Mama, what you doing? That Coach Prime. Hey, Mama, calm down a little bit. And she played it to a T. And I said, you know what? You right. I don't want no problem with nobody, Mama. We going to give your son a scholarship. And the whole locker room went off. They just erupted. They picked him up. And he just came in here moments ago to thank me. But that's who Santi is.
What?
He's an unbelievable kid. Unbelievable human being. A great, blessed kid, man. Blessed kid. He's a blessed kid. Can't hear you.
Oh, you're muted, Jamie.
Oh, that was because the motorcycle was going by, so I was muted. But we can't top that story right there. So we're gonna catch up with the NFL bounce a little later on in the week, and that way we can touch on everything. But boy, that is just. I mean, that's just a blessing. I'm so glad you shared that. That was just
he's an unbelievable kid, man. And everybody in here has a story. You guys, you heard me when I was getting prepared to come on, greeting one of the parents or one of the other kids. Like it's 115 stories inside this locker room, and it's my challenge to get to know every last one of them and be emotionally and spiritually involved in every last one of them so we can mature these young men to men. And that's what it's all about, man. That's really what it's about.
That's it.
Thank you, Jamie. Always strong points coming from you, my friend. Strong, kind of like that Chevy Silverado that we see over there every day. The strongest, most advanced Silverado ever. And we've been talking about football, whether it's Jackson State's program, whether you're out tailgating at your local college or an NFL game. The perfect way to tailgate is with that strong, advanced Chevy Silverado Tie-Flex tailgate. 6 convenient configurations. You can step up your tailgate game. There's easy access, so you can fold it down, fold it up, turn it into a bed, turn it into a desk, do whatever with it. Chevy Silverado is modern, advanced, and it has a ton of grit. They are always getting stuff done. It's the strongest, most advanced Silverado ever. Coach, something I saw this week that was not so strong was what was going on down at Tennessee. The Tennessee Ole Miss game turned into a clown show towards the end of the game. It looked like Barnum and Bailey's circus, but it seemed like the inmates were almost running the asylum.
Wow.
Everyone was raining trash down onto the field. I saw Lane Kiffin he got hit with a golf ball. They were throwing mustard onto the field, all because they were upset with a bad call. Did you see that, Coach? Are the fans down at? Yeah, they're out of line down there. They were raining stuff on the field. It seemed like Lane Kiffin had an all right disposition about it. He didn't seem too mad, but like, what would you do if people start throwing stuff onto the field? I feel like you've kind of lost control of the stadium at that point.
Well, first and foremost, the head coach on the home team should have some type of way talk to the audience, the fan base, and told them this is not who we are. We're much more professional than this. I would rather go back to the empty stadium than to allow this to happen. Because the safety of not only my team, the opposing team, coaches, and family, friends, and loved ones as well. Because if it's getting like that on the field, it's got to be chaos in the stands. And now it's not safe for the opponents' families or whoever is wearing different colors than you are. And I hate to see that. I don't know how they addressed it. I don't even know how it got to that point, but I hope they brought solvency to it.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it came down to the fans blaming the referees for what was going on. And I get sometimes being mad at a referee, but I also think it's kind of a loser mentality to always be the one saying, oh, the refs screwed us over. The refs did this wrong. Whether you're watching your favorite team or whether it's a team you're part of, do you ever find yourself, Coach, blaming the refs? Do you ever find yourself saying, I
don't blame anybody. I always look in the mirror first. And I never have been one to trash what's mine. Like, I'm gonna trash what's mine. Tennessee fans got to realize that's your stadium. You can't trash what's yours.
Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense. It's like, it's like burning your own house down, or just, taking a torch to something that you built, because everybody's looking at Tennessee now like, oh, these guys are savages. This is a bad fan base. And now they have to fight against that. People and these people who are throwing the bottles on the field don't have great arms. They're probably not even making it to the field. Somebody's getting hit in the back of the head. It's bad news down in Tennessee.
All that affects recruiting.
Does it?
What kid looks at that and say, you know what, I want to go there? Nobody. That affects your recruiting tremendously.
What else affects the recruiting? Because I saw a picture of, I think it was say again?
Losing.
That's true.
Losing affects recruiting.
You think that's the biggest thing then? Just like, you got to just build a good program.
That's the biggest thing that affects recruiting.
Yeah. I saw it was like the North Carolina game, and there were a bunch of North Carolina recruits, kind of like there were a few of them just sitting in the crowd. It seemed like it was a half-empty stadium, and the NC State account was putting it out saying, like, do you want to go to UNC and like be in a scenario like this? Like, you need to make it kind of lit for the recruits. That's why you guys had, what'd you say, 300 people that wanted to come through?
We had 345 requests. We had 200 recruits on hand. But that's what you do. You bring them to an environment like a homecoming, and they're like, wow, now this is the atmosphere I want to be in. That's when you bring them in and put your best foot forward.
What did you go out for any of the homecoming activities? I know that you had some.
No, I can't do that, man. I can't do that. I'm too locked in. I'm too locked in, because you got to understand, I'm high profile. So it's a picture of me at some of the homecoming activities, then you get your butt kicked and that picture surfaces everywhere. He was partying. That's why he couldn't focus on the game. So I don't put myself in those situations.
Yeah, Nick Saban could probably tell you a thing or two about that right now. Or I'm sorry, not Nick Saban. Urban Meyer could probably tell you a thing or two about that. Nick Saban's never going to be in some situations like that.
Never.
Speaking of coaches, while we're on coaches, an interesting scenario going down in LSU. Coach Ed Ogeron, Coach O, he's out of there. And they decided it. Go ahead.
They just won a championship a couple years ago. Like, how did it go so bad? This is like inside stuff we don't know about, because they just won a couple years ago. So what went so bad so quickly?
And when they won, their cupboard was stocked full of these NFL players who are top picks, like stud level talent on both sides of the ball. It really doesn't make any sense to me. And it comes down to, I think, the pushiness of fans that they need to demand winning every year. And it's like they forget that they just won something, that they want to be the ones that win it every single time. Like, not even Alabama is winning it every single year, but people just, these fans are calling for Coach O's head. And I heard that it was negotiated before this past weekend. They beat Florida and he's still leaving. How does that make sense?
Yeah, I don't know. I try not to get into that stuff and engage in and try to figure it out. I know from friends that he's a good guy and he's a really good coach, and he allows his coaching staff to be who they are and do what they're great at doing, and that's called offense and defense, and he kind of oversees everything. But what I know from the people I've befriended that has attended LSU, that he's a good guy. I hate to see that. I hate to see someone coaching and they're leaving. That's hard for a young man. But I guess they figured they wanted to do that because what happens is, Rone, coaches recruit against that. Why would you go to LSU? Their coach is not even going to be there. So that means the whole staff is not even going to be there. So why would you even go to a place like that? Coaches do that. Coaches recruiting against you do that. Trust me.
Yes. So then aren't they kind of hurting themselves in the long run, or are they just leaving him there to kind of tie up loose ends and kind of make sure that he still gets everybody? Because why would he even want people to come to LSU? He's not going to be there.
Because they'll probably name someone before the end or before the not visitation, before the first commitment period. They'll name someone. They will name someone soon, I believe.
Yeah, I just can't imagine being a recruit there. And it also hurts because Coach O just seemed like such a Louisiana guy. Like, he had the accent. Yeah. He was from down there. It just seemed like the perfect marriage of a coach, his attitude, the program. It's sad because just a couple years ago, we were watching them celebrate down in New Orleans. They were giving out, Odell was giving out money in the locker room. He was going nuts. Yep. They were having a beautiful time.
It hadn't been the same since. But I understand fans. Most fans know they can't win it every year, but Alabama expects to win it every year because that's the nature of their program. But fans like LSU and many others, they want to be in the hunt every year. They don't want to win it, then you digress so far back that you're not even nowhere near. They're wondering what happened to us. They just want to be in the hunt.
Yeah, and they are going to be one of those programs that's always getting top-notch, top-notch players. And is it the X's and the O's? Is it the Jimmies and the Joes? That's what they need to figure out. And I guess they're going to switch up the X's and the O's. But the people there are right. And it's kind of like the people over at Cross Country Mortgage. That's right. Group of people over there, just like us at Barstool. They're dedicated to the fundamentals of mortgage lending, which results in fast, convenient, less stressful home financing. So if you're a homeowner and haven't refinanced, you could be leaving a lot of money on the table. It could be tens of thousands of dollars, even hundreds of thousands of dollars through the life of the loan. Could be working for you in other places in your life. You could be investing in stuff that betters you for the long term. Maybe you just have a little bit of cash in your pockets. It could be a nice move for you to go ahead and refinance. The rates are at an all-time low. They might not get this low again. You can get a free rate quote just by calling. So call today. Our friends at Cross Country Mortgage will give you a free home valuation that is free to you just for calling. Go to crosscountrymortgage.com/barstool to learn more about your future home buying experience or refinance your current mortgage. Cross Country Mortgage, LLC, NMLS 3029. All loans subject to underwriting approval. www.nmlsconsumeraccess.org. Coach, I want to know if you saw this, something new coming out of the baseball world. And it's a new rule, I guess, that's been mandated by these minor league baseball teams. Now they're all going to provide housing for the players. What do you think about it?
Let me tell you something, man. When I was in the bush, we go to minor league, the bushes. When I was in the bushes, it was several players that would room together at one time. And then you start asking these questions, and it's because the level of pay that they were receiving. Everyone's not a big time draftee where you're making $1 million or whatever, and you could pay for and afford your housing. Everyone gets a salary, but sometimes the salary is not subsequent enough to live the lifestyle you want to live. And you are gone so much on the road traveling that say you have 100 baseball games in the minor league, you're gone 50 of those games. So it's kind of tough maintaining something that you're even really not there. So a multitude of guys would share an apartment. I'm talking about 4 or 5, 6 guys at a time, man.
It really was like that?
Yeah, it was like
You
that,
weren't
but you
doing
understood.
that.
Oh, no, I ain't playing that. But, I made enough money where I could live by I'm not a roommate guy anyway, that I would live by myself anyway. So I do understand. I love it. I don't know how the minor leagues can afford it. Maybe the big leagues are kicking in and funneling the money down to the AAA, single A, double A, and rookie league. But that's a lot of money. Trust me, it's a lot of money.
It's going to be expensive. How did you even maintain the focus and the humility to play in the bushes, like you called it, when you knew that you could do something else? You know what I mean? Like you didn't have to.
I didn't have, but I had the dream, man. I know I had football, but the dream was to make it to the big leagues. To make it to the big leagues and really be successful. So the more you depended on football, the worse you were going to be in baseball, because you didn't have that drive and that want and that desire and that hunger. So I tried not ever to mention football when I was playing baseball and not mention baseball when I was playing football. I always compartmentalized everything in my life. I have all hell going on in my life right here in Rome, but locked in and focused right here. And baseball and football provoked me to do such a thing, and I've just carried that on through life. Sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't, but that's been my thing.
That's beautiful. I mean, it's inspiring to me. It's like, why can't I do this and this? Why can't I have both? And was that your inspiration for the dream? Like, why did you have that dream instead of just like limiting your dream? You know what I mean? You dreamed even bigger than like.
Well, so what I always did. How can I have someone who has no talent come and tell someone who has a lot of talent what the guy can't do, and he has no talent? So how can I have someone tell me what I can't do on a professional level when they can't do it anyway? So you can't tell me I can't play football and baseball. That's all I've known since I was 7 years old. I didn't understand how would that even work. How could you even fathom I can't do that when I know you can? So you try to kill my dream? And that's what it was, as a dream. And I wanted to be dominant in both. I was never dominant in both, but I was good in baseball, but not great, but great at football.
Yeah, a lot of times it seems like the people who say you can't really mean I can't. That's what they're like, oh, I can't do both. So you can't do both. But it's like, well, let me try and do both. I'm trying to be able to do both. I want to do things that other people haven't done. Why not?
I'm happy for those minor leaguers, but that money has to come from the major leagues, because the minor leagues, each ballpark or each franchise aren't making that much to provide housing for everyone. They're not making that much money.
Yeah, and it's like you say, like you can't tell a billionaire what to do with his money, but there are billionaires at the top of the totem pole, I guess, who will subsidize some of it. I don't know who's going to be getting what money, but there's going to be some people a little bit farther down that will have to. I guess it's traveling's a big part of it, but they'll have to travel and they'll have a better place to stay, which is nice. But speaking of traveling, I saw there was an NFL game out in London this weekend, and I'm always curious. From a player standpoint, do you think that those guys are enjoying going to London? Is it cool to them? Or do you think it's just like an inconvenience?
You got to understand, coming from the inner city, and that's all I can speak from. I didn't grow up going places. Any place I went, it was because of sports. It was because this athletic team took me. I mean, any place, it was Florida State took me. Baseball took me. So I didn't just randomly go to this place or this country. If I went to that place or that country, I was going there to hoop or to hit a baseball or to play football. I'm telling you, that's how I was growing up. So to go to London, I probably would have been ecstatic I just couldn't wait to see the itinerary to make sure we had opportunities to see some things. And me, I'm ignorant. Like I want to see the hood in London. I want to see how it looks in London as it look like this in the States. So and my lady, she would tell you this is the funny thing in the world. The Eiffel Tower, I ain't want to see none of that. The Mona Lisa is probably like a 5x7 in real life. It's like a 5x7. And you spend all your time, you go in there, you say, so this is what we
go crazy about?
Man, the Mona Lisa is like a 3x5 glossy, like a glamour shot.
You got it on a
postcard. I never wanted to do all that, but I would have wanted to travel just to experience playing in London. I would have wanted to do that.
And you get the sense that, like, for example, when you guys were in Miami for your season opener this year, they had scheduled a bus trip through Miami so everybody can kind of see a little bit of Miami. Yeah. Are they enjoying that? Do you think the team is enjoying that? Or is it something like it. Yeah?
Yeah. You got to understand 3/4 of the team had never been to Miami. Those guys have never been to Miami. What else? 18, 19, 20-year-old. When is he going to get to go to Miami? When? So he can't afford that. Yeah, so it was fascinating to them. They loved it. They loved every minute of it. It would be the same thing with London.
Yeah, it's something different when you get done.
I applaud the teams for getting the passports together. Definitely everybody got to get vaccinated and all that to make that trip, of course. But I applaud the team for all the due diligence that they have to do to even make that trip happen.
Yeah, it's got to be cool. It's just different to see a different kind of culture and to kind of experience something different. Coach, I wonder if you saw this on Instagram. I don't know if you saw. It was a clip that I saw every time I opened up my phone. It was a song. Maybe one of the craziest. Did you see those two white dudes singing this Island Bois song?
No.
So bad it was good. You know what I mean? Like sometimes something's so bad that it's like, how are they living their whole lives like this? And I just get to see a little snapshot of it. But it was so specific that it just caught everybody off guard. It was good, but it was like they didn't even it didn't have like the rhythm of like something I'd heard before. It was very interesting, but it's always different strokes for different folks down there. I think it was a Florida thing, so maybe they're just living that Miami lifestyle.
First of all, I was trying to figure out was there a seal behind them. I was looking at that. Secondly, I love what they did with their hair. I don't know how they got it to stay up like that. The tattoos, everything. They living their life, man. I'm happy for them. If they happy, I'm happy
for them too. Exactly. They're not hurting anybody. They're singing some songs. It was almost like they were on bar 3 instead of bar 4. They were passing it off at the wrong time, but it was working. It's been stuck in my head. It's going to be stuck in your head all week. You're going to be singing Island Bois. You're going to be singing it all.
They're going to get a record deal if they don't already have one.
That's a fact. And Coach, before we get out of here, we gotta send some well wishes over to our buddy Hitman Hollow's way. I don't know if you saw what was going on with.
I heard what happened. My daughter texted me, and you talking about ignorant. Whoever did that, man. This is what I'm praying for. I'm praying because I know Hitman a real one. I'm praying that there's not a retaliation. Let it ride. I'm praying for his lady Cinnamon. I'm praying for just everything that was involved in that. Everyone heals and just let it ride. Let it ride. But let me tell you something. The more I thought about it and the more I heard about it, there had to be somebody that knew something. There had to be somebody that knew something, knew where stuff was. That was inside. The more I heard about it, the details of it.
He's out of town.
Yeah.
They had to know he's out of town, that type of thing. Yeah.
Know where to go.
Yeah. It's scary
Yeah.
and it's sad, and you just have to keep their entire family in your thoughts. And
Yes.
and I'm happy that she's okay. I saw her walking under her own power out of the hospital. So that's a scary and sad situation, and we're happy that everybody is hopefully going to be back to full health, and
Yeah.
we hope that the foolishness comes to an end.
I just, why do we have to take from others, man? Like, why? Who gets it in their mind? Like, I'm not gonna work for mine. I'm just gonna go take yours. Unbelievable. And you expect God to bless that? That you're gonna take something that you didn't earn and you didn't work for that's not yours. I don't understand the whole philosophy of that, but it happens every day.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense, but Hitman, send them in both in our prayers, and we'll always be having their back over here at 21st and Prime. So, Coach, for you, for Jamie Dukes, for the whole squad over there, I'm Rone, and we will see y'all later in the week.
God bless.
You know what it is, and for what it's worth, you can catch me on the best corner 21st.